on over here. It's crazy times we're living in. Namaste, everyone. ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consulting, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this, I don't know why I was about to say Friday, on this Sunday. Stay focused, Christians. Stay focused. This is very important. On this Sunday evening here, it's about almost 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time here in Denver, Colorado. And if you're not watching this live stream, part of my theory is you're watching the launch of the new season of Game of Thrones. Is that my... Hey, Cam, Namaste. I saw your picture earlier today coming up in the Facebook feed. It's interesting. So... I've watched 1.5, maybe 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, and I think I'm the only person on the planet who doesn't really know much about any of the actors, the storyline, the purpose. Avani, Namaste. See? Told you I'd do another stream tonight. So my apologies, guys, for those of you who are all about Game of Thrones. If it brings you joy and happiness and fulfillment in your week, get after it. Tear it up, make it happen. I love it. Mini Namaste. So, my question to you is, did you miss it? And actually, several of you did. Dean, Namaste. Several of you did miss it. I do what I can to have posts, to have articles, to have pictures that are clear, that are understanding. I've never... Oh, Dean... Another brother from another mother has not seen Game of Thrones. He might be the only other human being I've ever met on the planet who has not seen Game of Thrones, so that's pretty funny. So, Leslie, Namaste, my fellow Peruvian sister. My sister from another mister. I'm all about rhyming tonight, apparently. So, earlier today, we did the group Twin Hearts meditation and the group healing, and it was really, really good. But what I noticed was I got an email from people that were trying to log on before the meditation, like not 15 minutes before the meditation, but 2 hours before the meditation. And then I got people after the meditation trying to log on, not 15 minutes after, but 2 hours after the meditation. So again, out of loving kindness and not injury, I'm going to do a gentle and loving reminder to you guys that it's every Sunday from 10 a.m., Ashley, Namaste, from 10 a.m. Mountain Time, Denver, Colorado. So make sure you look it up, Denver, Colorado. So we have different time zones around the world. There could be a 12 to 14-hour time difference depending upon where you are in the world when you're tapping into the meditation and healing, right? So it's 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, Denver time, right? And we're going to be doing it again every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time. It's going to be the Twin Hearts meditation followed by a group healing. And I realized with the group today how we're going to structure that so it's easier for the group to assimilate. People are going to get less congested, less over-energized, and have a beautiful, smooth experience. So that leads me into tonight's mini talk. What's the mini talk that we're going to be covering? Mini talk, get it? So I took a salt bath earlier today, did a lot of meditation today. I'm kind of like off in the ethers and blissed out a little bit. But it's a good time to go into this talk. So what I remember one of my mentors said a few months back, I was visiting him in Florida, and I was telling him that I was going to be taking the next class or the next level in our Hatha Yoga level 3. And I was curious to what should I do and what should I not do and what should I expect before the class, and then 6 to 12 months of regular practice of this next level of meditations. And he said something really beautiful that I've intuitively always done, but I never thought about it and I never articulated it to other people. And he says that you have to breathe life. Nina, Namaste. What's up, fellow dancing sister? He says you have to breathe life into your spiritual practice. And I was like, I know where he's going with this, but let's just find out. And he says, in essence, we get into a routine of, all right, in the morning I do these exercises, these breathings, these meditations, and then I finish my meditation doing X, Y, and Z. And then I do the same thing on Tuesday. Then I do the Ivan, Abba Namaste. Then I do the same thing on Wednesday. I do the same thing on Thursday. I do the same thing on Friday. I do the same thing on Saturday. I do the same thing on Sunday. And then it repeats again on Monday. And then we do that for a week, a month, a quarter, a year, several years, a decade, a lifetime. Now, you want to be consistent and persistent in your spiritual practice. Without a doubt, if your spiritual teacher has a format for you to follow of like, look, if you're looking to have more inner peace, happiness, and joy, if you're looking to have greater mental clarity, if you're looking to have greater relationships, if you're looking to have greater prosperity, abundance, and success, you're going to need to be consistent and persistent in something that was recommended to you by someone who has been there and done that. Yes? But there can also come a point in your spiritual practice that you become bored, that you become so routine, there's no life, there's no energy, there's no vigor and excitement and joy and uncertainty and unpredictability in your spiritual practice. So my mentor was saying, you got to breathe life, which is funny because prana is life, called the breath of life. So you have to breathe life into your practice. And so even if you've done, let's say, the Twin Hearts meditation from our school in pranic healing, let's say you've done the Twin Hearts meditation, 100 times. And then you start getting into the groove of like, yeah, be aware of my heart, think of a happy event. Be aware of my crown, think of a happy event. Okay, raise my hands at this point. Imagine the earth, and then you just hold this position. You're not really engaging. You're not really breathing life into. You're not really dynamic with the process, right? So, are you spiritually growing and developing when you're just kind of, whatever? Not so much, right? Not so much. Your muscles are not getting stronger. It's kind of like if you went from lifting 100 pounds and then you started lifting 150 pounds, like you worked your way up to 150 pounds, and then lifting 150 pounds became very, very easy, and you never progressed. You never stretched yourself. You never went to the next level. Your muscles are not going to develop. They're not going to atrophy, right? But they're also not going to develop and bring you to the next level of physical strength and physical endurance. So it's the same thing in your spiritual practice. There's a tendency for us to go, I already know that, so they shut down. I've already heard that spiritual teaching before. They shut down. Or we talked about being in the present moment, the power of now. We talked about that last night, right? So somebody can go, yeah, I already know about that. Yeah, power of now. Yeah, being in the present moment. Yeah, what else you got? But the question is, have you mastered being in the present moment? Most likely not, right? So if you haven't mastered it, you have to start breathing life, start breathing energy back into your spiritual practice. So I'm not bragging. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this as an example to you guys to hopefully inspire and possibly aspire you to the next level in your spiritual growth and development. I've had the opportunity to do the Twin Hearts meditation over 4,000 times over the past 15 years. And even now, I'm like, I never thought of doing it. I never thought of doing it that way. Or I've never thought of putting my attention there for that period of time versus this period of time. Or one of the practitioners, a senior practitioner who I look up to and admire and respect, for one day he just had the idea of, his like, you know what? I want to see what it would look like if I did the Twin Hearts meditation 10 times in one day. Right? Some people have a hard time doing the Twin Hearts meditation once per day or even once per week. Carolina, namaste, but he did it 10 times in one day. Interesting. Now you might be saying, well, wait a minute. That's not the recommended prescribed amount of times that you're supposed to do the Twin Hearts meditation. It's once a day, maybe twice a day if you have a severe physical or emotional ailment. But that's just excessive. Granted. But what was he doing? He was breathing life into his spiritual practice, and then from that, he's getting feedback. Now, is that sustainable? No, not really. It's not sustainable to do 10 Twin Hearts meditations every day for the rest of your life. That's not sustainable. Just like somebody who trains to do a 100-mile run, right, the ultra marathoners, that's not sustainable to do that every week or every day or even every quarter, right? But those people are like, how far can I stretch myself in that moment in time? So, what keeps my Arhatic yoga practice interesting is throughout the year I have little baby challenges. I'll have a week-long challenge. I'll have a 30-day challenge. I have a couple 2.5-year challenges on my books right now to do so that I can look back in another 2.5 years and go, wow, I really made a lot of growth in this area, that area, this way of being, that way of being. Because it keeps life exciting. I'm breathing life. I'm breathing prana. I'm breathing energy into my, not just my spiritual practice, but outside of my spiritual practice. But at the end of the day, they're all connected. They're all one. If your physical body is healthy, you'll be able to do your spiritual practice better. If your spiritual practice is done properly, it'll strengthen your physical body, right? So everything's interconnected. The physical body is interconnected with the emotional body. It's interconnected with the mental body, which is interconnected with the causal body or spiritual body. Everything's interconnected. So when you affect one, you affect all of them. Does that make sense? So that's my recommendation for you guys this evening is number one is be consistent and persistent with your spiritual practice for a prolonged period of time, not just a couple days of, hey, I did Twin Hearts every day, right? I did Twin Hearts, thanks for the thumbs up. I did a Twin Hearts every day for the past 5 days. Now I'm going to do 10 Twin Hearts in one day. No, I don't recommend that even a little bit, right? Even a little bit. But if you notice, you know what, for the past year, I've been doing the Twin Hearts meditation every single day. What would it look like if I did the Twin Hearts meditation twice a day for the next 30 days? Be like, oh, sweet. And then at the end of that 30 days, you're going to get feedback. You're like, wow, my inner peace has really deepened. Wow, my mind has become much, much sharper. Wow, I feel much more connected to my fellow brothers and sisters. Wow, right? You have feedback. Or the feedback could be, wow, doing the Twin Hearts meditation every day or twice a day, every day for 30 days, actually really irritable. I'm having a hard time sleeping. Michelle, namaste. I'm having digestion problems. I'm having blah, 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 right? Fill in the blank. That would also be good feedback for you because then you go, huh, that's too far for me. I'm going to give you guys an example, and I'll end with this. So about 4 years ago, God, has it been 4 years? No. Yeah, I think about 4 years ago, there was a challenge that I had been wanting to do in pranic healing. And this isn't a challenge that's set out by pranic healers or Arhatic yogis. It's not like, hey, have you heard about the challenge? But my mentor, with another practitioner, had a challenge with themselves of doing a certain meditation for 30 days. Right? No big deal. Certain meditation for 30 days. And I thought to myself, huh, that sounds like a really cool idea. And that was like my first year in pranic healing. So it took about 11 years later, roughly, Clara, Atma Namaste, beautiful girl. It took about 11 years later for me to have the courage to do that challenge. I just wasn't ready, right? I wasn't ready. And I was like, I'm going to do this challenge. I'm excited about it. I'm committed to it. Let's make it happen. So, about 4 years ago, I started out on this challenge, and I was like, it's only 30 days. It's only 30 days. What could go wrong? It's only 30 days. So, Blair, namaste. Good to have you on. So, I cleared my schedule, and at the time I was leading 13. This is what's very interesting. At the time I was leading 13 meditation and healing events each month. Live, in person, not online. 13 meditation and healing events per month. I was doing my full Arhatic yoga practice at least 5 times a week, and I was healing, 2 to 3 healing clients per day throughout the week, right? So I was bringing down a lot of energy, but I was using a lot of energy. Does that make sense? So I thought to myself, well, doing this challenge, even though it's going to bring down way more energy, I'm going to use up the energy working with all these other clients and all these other students and all these other events that I'm going to. The energy is going to be used up. No problem. So I start the challenge. And day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, week 1, week 2 starts getting a little bit interesting with the challenge. Starting to feel a little woozy, starting to feel a little nauseous, starting to feel a little bit not just not grounded, but not really integrated with the world. And I'm like, it's probably just a side effect, whatever. Why? Because I'm persistent and diligent in my spiritual practice, and I push, and I push, and I push. Even though I may not be listening, I push, and I push, and I push. So 3rd week, remember the goal was to do 30 days? The 3rd week of doing this particular meditation practice every day for 3 weeks, by the end of the 3rd week, I kid you not, again, doing full Arhatic, leading 13 meditation and healing events per month, doing a lot of inner work, right? A lot of purification, watching my diet, all the right things. The end of the 3rd week, I thought my physical body was going to die. And Bika, namaste. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not throwing that out for effect, but I literally thought that my physical body was going to die because of how intense the pressure was physically, the physical pressure on my body of doing that meditation every single day for 3 weeks. I didn't make it the full 30 days. Something told me to stop practicing. So as I'm like doing the meditation and my physical body feels like it's about to, like I'm about to leave my physical body, something told me, stop the practice. So that was 4 years ago, and I haven't tried to replicate that since. And I shared that with my mentor, and he was like, yeah, that's not something you can say, that's not something you can sustain, and you definitely have to be in a certain frame of mind, body, and spirit in order to properly do that, even for 30 days. So one of my clients wanted to see how far he could take it. I didn't recommend that he go 30 days, 3 weeks. I just said go for a few days. He did this practice for 4 days, and his life was falling apart. His physical health was falling apart, financial problems, relationship problems, within a 4-day period of doing the meditation. That's how powerful, that's how potent certain practices are. And keep in mind, it's cumulative, and most people don't understand that. Pranayama is extremely powerful and potent as a breathing exercise, and you don't necessarily notice the effects of it until days, weeks, even months later, right? It's like being out in the sun for too long, you don't notice it. It's like, whoa, like I didn't know my entire body got burned. I was only out there for 15 minutes because the energy is so refined, it's so subtle, but it's so potent, it permeates and penetrates to the physical body. And have you ever noticed after being out in the sun for too long, do you feel tired or do you feel energized? Most people feel very, very tired. Why? They were resting in the sun for an hour. They weren't doing anything. They weren't exerting anything. It's not that they're depleted. It's that they're congested from too much energy. And the symptoms of being depleted and being congested are the same. And physiologically, people will say, well, the reason you're tired or the reason you feel tired is because you're dehydrated. Not true. Even people who are hydrated that are in direct sunlight for a period of an hour will be overwhelmed with too much energy, not dehydration. So that's similar to doing very, very powerful, potent, advanced meditation practices. It builds up in your system, and then if you lack awareness, and all of us lack awareness to one degree or another, if you lack awareness, 2 weeks will go by and you're like, whoa, it'll hit you super hard. So that was my little experiment and little experience of doing an advanced meditation practice that I thought I was going to do for 30 days, and I ended up doing it for 3 weeks. And then my physical body and my higher soul were like, what are you doing? Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Now, if I didn't have, I don't know, because I was using up the energy, I still have to look into it. But it was very, very powerful. Great learning experience. So again, for you guys, the take home is every Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we do the live Twin Hearts meditation and we do the group healing. 10 a.m. I have a link. The link is going to be posted before the meditation and healing. You click on the link, it opens up in your browser. You don't have to download anything, and you're automatically added to the group. The meditation is always going to be free. The healing, the group healing, is going to be suggested donation of $25 that you can pay through PayPal. Most people are international, so you pay through PayPal instead of Venmo because Venmo is domestic. So you pay through PayPal, and then you are part of the group healing. Very, very simple. And then the other takeaway is our lecture today or tonight is be regular with your spiritual practice for a period of time, preferably 6 months to a year. And then if you want to tweak and refine and experiment and offer challenges to yourself to breathe life into your practice, to mix it up, to make it exciting, because we like certainty, but we also like uncertainty. So you're like, you know what, let me see if I do 3 Twin Hearts meditations today, what would that look like? Whoa, that's something that's uncertain, right? But to sustain that for a prolonged period of time, not recommended. Every athlete does it, right? An athlete has their training regimen, and then their coaches will mix it up occasionally to keep the emotional body engaged, to keep the mental body engaged. Does that make sense? So, throw out your questions, throw out your comments. Susan, Atma Namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So throw out your questions, throw out your comments, anything that we covered today or any little nugget that you would like to walk away with tonight to add value into your life, because that's the whole purpose of doing these live streams, is to add value. And for those of you who are looking for coaching, and it's funny because you're not actually looking for coaching, you're looking for a specific result in your life that coaching can provide. So if you're looking for coaching and healing, go to ChristianRLong.com. It's my website, it's my name, it's very easy. ChristianRLong.com/services, and then sign up for a distant pranic healing session right then and there. And we'll see each other on FaceTime, on Zoom, on Skype, whatever is the best way to communicate face-to-face. Now, people ask me the question, do we need to see each other face-to-face in order for the healing to work and be effective? No, we don't even need to talk to each other. You can just email me, Christian, here's my name, I need healing on this. That's it. And then I'll schedule a time in my calendar over the week, 11 a.m. on Tuesday, and I'll be like, all right. And then I'll do the protocol, and I'll follow up with you in 2 days to see how you're doing. We never need to talk. It's not necessary. But most people feel connected when they can see the person working on them, right? It's better for them. It makes them more conductive and more receptive to the healing, but it's not necessary, if that makes sense. And that's it, beautiful people, beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. Hope you had cool experiences. You learned something new. You met someone new. You interacted at a new place. You ate at a new place. You went walking or hiking in a new place or biking in a new place. Or you lived life differently than you've lived it any other day. That's what my wish for you was and is. All right, guys, this is ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful Sunday night, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.